have you ever found yourself just standing in the supermarket aisle, staring at this wall of olive oil and feeling completely and totally lost? Yeah, me too. Well, if that's you, you're in the right place. Today, we are going to uncork all the secrets behind the labels, the prices, and the flavors so you can finally walk down that aisle and shop like a pro.
You know the scene, right? You're there, faced with this wall of green and gold bottles, the prices are all over the map, the labels have all these fancy words that might as well be in another language, and all you want to do is pick the right one.
You're probably asking yourself, is this one for cooking? Is that one actually worth the money? It's a super common mystery. But guess what? It's a mystery we're going to solve together, right now.
Okay, so to really get a handle on olive oil, we have to do a little reset. We have to completely reframe how we think about it. And you know what? This first secret, it's the key that unlocks everything else.
That's it. Seriously, the best olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, is nothing more than fresh fruit juice. I want you to think about it just like fresh squeezed orange juice, but, from an olive. It's made by simply crushing the fruit. That's it. No chemicals, no industrial refining, just pure juice.
And the process for making this virgin oil is so clean. First, the olives are harvested and cleaned up. Then they're crushed into a paste. That paste gets mixed really slowly, there's a fancy word for it, malaxation, which helps all the little oil droplets find each other. And then a machine called a centrifuge just spins everything around super fast to separate the pure oil from all the water and solids. Done. No chemicals, no crazy heat, just pure, natural fruit juice.
But here's where the road forks. This is the big difference. When an oil isn't good enough to be called virgin, maybe the olives were a little bruised or got too ripe, it has to be sent to a refinery. And there, it gets treated with chemical solvents and high heat to strip out all the bad flavors. At that point, it's not fruit juice anymore. It's a refined industrial product. They then blend in a tiny bit of virgin oil so they can legally call it olive oil.
So, okay, we've got this massive difference between a natural juice and a refined product. But how are you supposed to know which one you're holding? Well, it all comes down to cracking the code on the label.
All right, if you remember one thing, make it this. Extra virgin is not just some marketing buzzword. It's a legally protected status. To earn that title, an oil has to pass two really tough tests. First, a chemical analysis in a lab, and second, a sensory test by a certified panel of human tasters to prove it has zero defects and tastes fruity. It has to be perfect or it's out.
So let's look at this quality pyramid here. Right at the very top, you've got extra virgin, that perfect defect-free juice. A little step down is virgin olive oil. Still pure juice, but it's allowed to have some minor flaws. Then you get to just plain old olive oil, which, as we now know, is mostly that refined stuff. And then way at the bottom is olive pomace oil, which is literally extracted from the leftover waste paste using chemical solvents. So for flavor and health, you always want to stay at the top of this chart. Okay, let's bust a huge myth right now. When you see acidity on a label, it has absolutely nothing to do with a sour or vinegary taste. Not at all. It's a chemical measurement that tells you how much the oil has degraded. So healthier, fresher olives give you a lower acidity. That's why for extra virgin, the legal limit is below 0.8%. It's a sign of really high quality.
So we've covered the lab coats and the chemistry. But what does all that mean for what we can actually taste? Let's dive into the fun part, the telltale signs of quality that the experts look for.
And here's a cool little inside secret for you. Professional tasters use these special blue glasses. Why? It's to hide the color of the oil. This forces them to judge it only by smell and taste because, and this is so important, the color of an olive oil, whether it's a vibrant green or a golden yellow, tells you nothing about its quality. So what are they actually looking for? Well, you can think of it as the good guys versus the villains. For the good guys, every great oil has to be fruity. But here's the surprise. Bitterness and pungency, that peppery kick you feel in the back of your throat, are also amazing signs of a high-quality oil. The number one villain to avoid is rancid. It tastes kind of like old nuts or waxy crayons. It just means the oil has gone bad.
And honestly, this might be the biggest secret of all. You know that little peppery cough you get from a really good olive oil? That is not a flaw. It's a feature. That sensation is caused by powerful antioxidants called polyphenols. So when you taste that bitterness and feel that kick, you are literally tasting the healthiness of the oil.
Okay, so now we know what makes a great oil. But that still doesn't quite explain the mystery of why the prices in the supermarket are on this wild roller coaster ride from one year to the next.
It really just boils down to basic global supply and demand. Olive oil is a farm product, right? So it completely depends on the weather. A good year with plenty of rain and a big olive growing region, that means a huge harvest and tons of oil. But a year with a bad drought, yeah, the exact opposite.
Let's just take Spain, for example. They produce nearly half of the entire world's olive oil. After a really rough season, their harvest in 2024/25 recovered like crazy. It jumped by over 65%. That one single harvest just flooded the global market with supply. And when that much new supply hits the market, what do you think happens to the price? Yep, it falls. And it falls hard. In the year right after that massive harvest, the price for bulk extra virgin olive oil dropped by a jaw-dropping 40%.
So just like that, the price mystery is solved. A rainy spring in southern Spain can directly lead to a cheaper bottle of fantastic olive oil on a shelf in a store halfway across the world. It is all connected.
All right, we've talked about how it's made, how it's graded, how it's tasted, and why it's priced the way it is. So now, armed with all this amazing knowledge, let's head back to that supermarket aisle and make our smartest purchase yet. Here it is, your smart shopping checklist. First up, always choose extra virgin. Second, hunt for a harvest date. Remember, it's fresh juice, so the newer, the better. Third, do not fear the flavor. Embrace that bitterness and that peppery kick. Fourth, look for bottles made of dark glass or tin. They protect the oil from light, its enemy. And finally, check out the origin. Exploring oils from different places is half the fun.
So, the next time you pick up a bottle, just remember, you're not just grabbing a cooking ingredient. You're holding the pure juice of a fruit, a little snapshot of a specific harvest, and a taste of a tradition that goes back thousands of years. Which really just leaves us with one final thought. Is it just oil for a pan, or is it liquid history in a bottle? Thanks for tuning in.